All right, so today is day 4 of me accepting this Diary of a CEO Stephen Bartlett YouTube challenge. I really got to figure out a better way to say that. It's so long. I had some plans to chat about what I do in my business and give you guys the formula for how I help my clients become more seen and understood. And it's funny because I often think to myself, why did I create Articūlat? I feel like every day I try to focus on how I want to show up and how I want to connect with my audience. It's a reminder to me as to why Articūlat was born and why it needs to be successful. I find that I'm just so misunderstood. And honestly, I think a lot of it is not even feeling misunderstood by other people, but the real frustration comes from not fully understanding myself. So as much as Articūlat is supposed to be part perception architecture studio, part production company, I think it's just so much more than that. And in the grand scheme, I hope that our clients don't just walk away with really good content. I hope they don't just walk away with new relationships and new opportunities and business growth and everything that comes with working with us. But more than anything else, I just hope that our clients are able to walk away feeling like they understand themselves better than they ever have before. And they have a clear idea of how they want to approach their business, how they want to approach their life. And honestly, for me, I think a big part of it is just maximizing your time. I think the approach isn't as much of, am I getting everything I want out of the time I'm putting in, as much as it is, am I putting my time in the places that I want to be putting it? And I feel like understanding yourself and having a good idea of what you want to put into life, what you want to leave behind, and what you want to get out of life gives you a much better idea of how you want to spend your life. It doesn't matter what that is. If you want to spend your whole life working, if you want to spend your whole life building something, or if you just want to spend your whole life with your family or consuming or whatever that is, it doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to anybody else, but it should matter to you. And my hope is that with all of our clients, that when we're done working with them or in the process of working with them, they have a much clearer idea of what those things are. I say all this largely out of just frustration because I feel like I'm putting so much time into making these videos, and I don't even know if I'm making them the way that I want them to be made. And I don't know if they're coming off the way that I want them to be coming off. There have been many times in my life where I've tried to explain myself to people to gain some more clarity on myself or to get a better idea of how I want to go about my life. But I find that when I try to do that, the people that I'm with just suggest something that I've already thought about, but just doesn't feel like me. And it's just a painful feeling when you feel like you have a vision of something, vision of the future, a vision of how things could be, and they're not that way, and you don't know how to explain them in a way that gets other people on board with that. So I guess that kind of leads me into why Articūlat was created, and that truly is just to help people be seen, heard, and understood, whether by themselves, by their audience, by their families. I just have a genuine belief that most people spend more time thinking about what they want to order at a restaurant than they do thinking about what they want to get out of life. And I think if that culture shifted, or even if that was brought to people's attention, then I think in most cases they would be interested in figuring out what they want out of their life as well. The best way that I know how to help people show up and the best way that I know how to express myself is to just think about some of the simple things that people don't already know, that if they did, they would have a much better idea of who we are. And so over at Articūlat, we offer something called the Perception Architecture Sprint. And the reason I named it Perception Architecture is because perception obviously just means how you're seen, and architecture is design and utility. We're only working with our 3rd client right now. We have 2 more lined up, but this thing's been launched for less than a month. I'll just explain this to you as if you were a client that was coming to work with Articūlat. What happens is the client first realizes that they're not being seen according to their value. They apply to work with us, and we start by jumping on a call, asking them a series of questions that gives us a better idea of who they are, what's important to them, and how they want to show up in the world. And then we break that down into 5 scripts, including a Who Am I video that describes who they are, what they're about, how they got there, an authority video that shows why they're credible in their space and why you would want to work with them. For example, if you're a personal trainer, a lot of times people think what they want is just to look good. But in reality, the true dream outcome is being able to feel confident, being able to go to a pool and take off your shirt, being able to hang out with the homies and feel confident about what you're wearing. There's a variety of things that people want. We figure out what that dream outcome is for them and make a video on that. Another video we do for our clients is a client testimonial video. So we figure out a problem that one of their clients had and how they solved that and how much that solution positively impacted their client so that people understand that what you're doing is real and it offers real results for them. So overall, explaining it, feeling the frustration. It's funny realizing that why Articūlat was created was because I personally have a hard time articulating how I feel and what I want to see in the world. And I think that's the start of any great entrepreneur story, is them feeling frustrated that there's something missing in the world and they create that thing that's missing. Whether or not it's super successful, I think has a lot more to do with the entrepreneur and their ability to get it out, rather than whether the product was a good or bad idea. Because at any given point, if somebody feels like something's missing in the world, then there's a very high likelihood that other people feel the same. And I just hope that we find a way to just hit a home run with Articūlat, because I know that it's something that could be really valuable to a lot of people. So anyways, I guess more than anything, that was just kind of an insight to what I'm building right now and how it works. Obviously, things will probably change a lot as we go forward, and I hope they do, because that means growth. And ultimately, in 10, 20 years, I just want to know that many people's lives have changed for the better, and they'll live a much better life long-term than they would have had they not worked with us. And again, that is just so much more than just getting some content. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow.